Let's move on to our Premier League overrated 11. This is going to be very, very juicy. I'll throw out a name.
It's going to get the people going.
It's going to get the people going, mate. I can start off in goal, lads, and see what you think. Aaron Ramsdale. I know he's now been dropped by Arsenal, but I think the narrative around Aaron Ramsdale is still that he's a fantastic keeper in waiting, and he isn't.
I think we're going to have a full house here for goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I genuinely think we're going to have a full house here for goalkeeper. Yeah. Rory Jennings, please announce your goalkeeper.
Aaron Ramsdale.
Aaron Ramsdale.
You said he was underrated a few months
ago.
ago.
No, it's not that he's underrated. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. What I don't think he is an England goalkeeper, which some people think. Yeah, or an Arsenal keeper. Yeah, I think he's certainly capable of playing in European competition. I think he's a Europa League player, a team that wants to qualify for the Champions League. But Arsenal are potentially champions. They're potentially European champions. He ain't that.
No, he's not that. He's not that. No, I think everyone.
Someone that I was very close to picking. And
you're going to say Pickford, aren't you?
And I would have done that last year. But I think one of the things I've begun to realise with Pickford is maybe I underrated him a little bit. Because I think he's one of the main reasons Everton are still a Premier League club. But I think we overlooked that a little bit.
There's 2 seasons in the back end of both of those seasons where his goalkeeping contributions have literally kept them in the league.
Him and Richarlison that year kept them up.
I think PR is a big thing with goalkeepers, how they're perceived. And when Joe Hart's PR went bad, he looked a little bit crazy or a little bit loose or whatever. Pickford's a little bit like that. And take away his PR as a keeper, he's fantastic.
Also, as much as we might say that he's overrated because he plays for England, he's actually not overrated at all, is he? Because he plays for a team that are perennially in a relegation battle. So people within football don't rate him because literally no top team's trying to side him.
He'd improve any side in the top 10 if they had to sell their keeper, in my opinion.
But the fact that nobody is trying to sign him, suggests that they don't agree with you.
I disagree with that comment, Buvey.
So do I.
Shea Given stayed at Newcastle for years.
If Buvey's saying that.
No, Shea Given stayed at Newcastle for many, many years. It's hard to get.
Shea Given wasn't a Champions League level goalkeeper though. Let's be real.
For 1 season at Newcastle.
No, I mean he played in. No, but that's not my point. I'm making.
No, he's a fantastic keeper. I think Pickford is that kind of caliber keeper in my opinion. Just outside the world class level in the Premier League.
I think either way, Pickford is at the right club in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Aaron Ramsdale is at the wrong club, and therefore Aaron Ramsdale is overrated.
Yeah, 100%. Should we move on to right back?
Yeah, go on. Who you got?
I've got Kieran Trippier, and that is just down to I love Kieran Trippier. I think what he did with Atletico Madrid and even at Spurs, he was fantastic, very versatile for England. This season, I think he's been a little bit short. This Newcastle defence not as good as last.
Is it fair to say then, Booth, that maybe he's just in bad form rather than being overrated, or do you think he is overrated? Do you think people still rate him highly enough?
I rate him decently. I think when he's been exposed, he's at really poor. He's given away so many big chances for Newcastle this season. Maybe he's a little bit overrated just because of where he is in his career. You know, he's sort of approaching the kind of 30s range.
That's what I was about to say.
He's lost a yard of pace, in my opinion, but he's still fantastic. I like the guy, but you know, is he going to take Newcastle on to where they need to go? It's changed really quickly, hasn't it? He was linked to Bayern Munich as well, wasn't he? So yeah, you know,
very interesting.
I just think is that not a he's just got older.
Yeah,
he's just like. What I'm trying to say is that just not getting worse rather than being overrated. Because it was rated for back. Because like you said there, you started saying I loved him at Atletico. I loved him for England.
I don't think the narrative has caught up to where he is in his career. Okay. So therefore, I think he's a bit overrated.
That's fair. Who's your right back?
I've gone for Malo Gusto, not because I don't like him, but I've heard some crazy shouts that he's better than Reese James, that kind of thing. We don't miss Reese James because we have Malo Gusto. And look, Malo Gusto is very young. He's a very good player with a huge ceiling and desperately high potential. But he's incomparable today to Reese James. Reese James has other issues, but he's incomparable to Reese James. And the fact that people keep saying that Chelsea are fine without him and Gusto's been brilliant, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Do you want the chance to win £250,000? All you have to do is download Super 6 and you could be a whole lot richer. Make sure you download the app and join our mini league. It's Club 23 on the app, and you could be playing Adam, Rory and myself and getting some big boy money, all for predicting some huge football scores. Make sure you download the app, click the link right here.
Interesting you mentioned Reese James a couple of times there, because I've gone with Reese James.
As overrated?
Come on, man.
The reason is, and I'm probably guilty of doing it at various points. I remember various points in time where I'd go, Kieran Walker, Trent, Reese James. I'd take Reese James over all of them because he's just the most complete out of them. But availability is an ability within itself, and he's very rare.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah. It's very difficult to argue.
I know that's harsh because he's been injured, and I'm not trying to say, oh yeah, you're crap because you're injured. But Where is he? Like, he's not available.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but we
He's
don't know if
captain.
that's
He's
down to
Chelsea's
him.
captain.
We don't know if that's
Who
down
else
to
is
him.
it down to?
But you
down
can,
to
yeah, but
injury.
Owen Hargreaves was unlucky with injuries.
but
There are some
it's-
players that don't apply themselves.
But,
and
but
get,
Adam's correct,
you
though,
know.
Booth. Is he not correct in going, you couldn't really
I
compare
rated him
Owen
as, like, up
Hargreaves.
there.
You can't compare Owen Hargreaves to the best midfielders because of availability. Being available, like the point he's making is basically...
Yeah, but we're not saying that it's about being overrated.
Yeah, but
you can't say Reece James is
No,
overrated.
but he's overrated today, literally today in the Telegraph. He's linked to Real Madrid.
Right.
The geezer's available for 13 games a season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that not
That's
overrated
crazy.
in itself?
Yeah, fine. I get that point.
I get it, Adam. I
was
mean,
struggling with fullback.
If he was fully fit, I think he'd be the best player at Man United.
So do
if
I.
he was fully fit, he's
If
that,
he
he's
was
that
fully
good.
fit, he'd
No,
be
he'd
the best
start
player
for
at
Man
Chelsea.
United. He'd start for Chelsea.
Beyond
if he was
start,
fit. But
he'd
he's
be your
never
best
fit.
player. Yeah, but if he's fully fit,
He wouldn't be our
he'd
best
be your
player.
best player.
He wouldn't be our
He'd be
best
Chelsea. He'd be
He's
Chelsea's best player
player.
if
He'd
he's
be
fully
polishing
fit.
Kobe Mainoo's boots, but yeah.
Oh no, mate, he's beyond that. You know how good he is. He's unbelievable.
No,
man.
No, he
fully
is,
fit.
but
He's the
never
best
fit.
right back in England. Fully fit. He's better than Kyle Walker.
I'd
in my
rather
opinion.
Lauren James and Reese James in my team because he's never fit.
Him not, his fitness is an issue, mate. But over, he's overrated if you look through
He's
the
overrated by
metric of
me.
fitness.
I include myself in this as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
genuinely, I've had arguments with people saying he's England's best right back.
Yeah.
How?
He's England's best right back when fit.
Yeah, but
But he's never
the
fit.
asterisk
Yeah,
is too big.
Yeah, 13 games a season and all that is troublesome.
Yeah, I hope he turns it around because he's a good footballer to watch. Despite being a
Who've you
rival.
gone centre halves, Boo?
I've gone Raphael Varan. I don't get it. I think he fell off as soon as he left Real Madrid. He's been
Can I ask,
poor.
how
You do
at
both
United.
centre
was he
backs
at
at the
Real
same
Madrid?
time, so we can
How
kind of
good
like,
was he at Real Madrid?
He was fantastic at Real Madrid. I think Sergio Ramos carried him a little bit. The midfield ahead of him was absolutely fantastic. But you can't deny what he achieved in the Champions League. You cannot deny that. If he's starting in those winning sides, we'll look back at Real Madrid in 50 years' time. We'll be talking to our grandkids. One of the best sides to ever, one of the best sides ever seen. The side that kept on winning the Champions League, and Varane was a part of that.
Fair.
Then he went to Man United,
And
and it's fallen off.
So is it not just, again, it's kind of similar to the other shout that you had. Is it not just the same as that?
No, but when I see him
Looking at
play,
someone towards the back end of their career. I also think he's been mostly available. He's been our most available centre back this season, which isn't saying a lot because most of them have been injured. But also, since January, I think he's been our best defender.
do you think Delo's been great?
Sorry, centre back. I was
centre
thinking
back.
of centre
Fine.
back.
Yeah,
Delo has been great.
But there's an issue because I've just said about the Real Madrid stuff, and then the fall off's so good that we're now saying he's one of Man United's maybe best defenders when you're a really, really poor version of the Man United side that we all know. So
I just
Varane has
don't know
not
if it's
improved
like
Man United.
back end of his career or overrated.
But he's not. You didn't sign him when he was. Some players come
No one
to the
calls him
Premier
the
League.
best centre back in the world anymore, or anywhere
Yeah,
close.
but it's not. When you sign someone who's 35, and it's like when George Weah came to Man City. It's like right at the end of his career, and it's a bit of a joke. Like Varane came in his prime, and
I think that's
gave
a
him
good point.
wages that
You
was,
forget how young he is. He's still 31.
It was a transfer where you thought, yeah, we're going to go and get the most out of him still, and he came, and he's been poor, hasn't he? Really, he hasn't lit up the Premier League with the quality we expected. This is Varane.
Yeah.
He's got a huge brand around him of how good he was at Real Madrid, and he's not shown any of that at Man United.
Who's your second centre half?
I've got to go Konate. No, I do.
He's good, man.
No, but this is where the Liverpool Twitter have got me a little bit because they're saying he's better than Ruben Diaz. They're saying he's better than John Stones. It's an absolute travesty. It's a PR nightmare for the Liverpool fans. So he is overrated because he's not that good. He's a world-class talent in waiting. But at the moment, he's not a world-class centre-back.
I think he's been
one of the
better
best in
than
the
Van
league.
Dijk this season.
He's overrated. Liverpool fans overhype this guy. We haven't seen him do it at the top level consistently enough.
Okay, I disagree with that.
You don't think?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
disagree
Booth,
with both.
You're going to disagree with mine, I imagine. I mean, my pairing is Harry Maguire primarily because of you. You rate him very highly.
We know why that is, though. Look alike for you.
No. If Buvey will make a case for Maguire, and on some level, I think Buvey makes a correct case where you say that he isn't as bad as other people say, and he's a competent defender, and he's never let England down. It's kind of your trope. I contest that. I think that he has let England down, as scoring a own goal against Scotland, for example, would be letting England down. But I think he's massively overrated. Whether he's overrated by people watching this, whether he's overrated by you, it's neither here nor there. He's
Or the England
undoubtedly
manager.
overrated by the England manager. Exactly. My second one is going to get me a lot of hate, but I believe it's true.
Wait. I think we've got the same centre back pairing.
Have you got Maguire?
I've got Maguire because let's just talk about Maguire for a minute.
Okay.
The amount of stuff I have to put up with people when I rip this guy and people go, oh, the guy's England's best defender, it's Man United. The guy's useless. He's got a turning circle of an 18-wheel lorry. He's just useless. I don't understand it. And we paid £80 million for him.
He's
If
overrated.
that's not overrated.
Right?
I don't know what is.
He is also overrated because a
was
lot of
years ago
people,
now.
but a lot of people adopt, and it's not necessarily wrong. It's just opinion, but will adopt Buvey's approach, which is you don't see him as overrated, really, do you?
Look, we're sat in 2024. If we do, when was the transfer? 2019.
Yeah. If
So
not a
80 million
year
back then,
earlier.
or 80 million back then, he's completely overrated for that. Right now, is he a top 10 Premier League centre back?
Nope.
Yes, he is.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Right.
Nope. He's proving our point.
He's overrated.
He's proving our point.
Really?
No, I really don't agree.
But
I feel like in the okay,
Bro,
let's play a
can I
game.
just
I think we can name 10 better.
Booth.
I think I can name 10
I
better.
can give you a side in the
I can
top
name
10.
four
Does he
better
start
at
for
Man
West Ham?
United.
West Ham are on the top
No,
10.
but
He
you
starts
said
for West Ham.
you said he's a top 10 centre half. I think I
No,
can
I
name
didn't mean
10
top 10
centre
in the
half.
whole. I mean a top 10 club in the top 10 of the division.
Sorry, forgive me. I
Yeah,
thought
it's
you
not
meant
crazy.
centre half.
Yeah,
mate, sorry.
no.
You had me in the
He starts
first
for
half.
West Ham. He's a top half Premier League centre back. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
But the bottom of the top
That's why he's
half.
not overrated.
But the bottom of the top half.
He's not a Man United centre back. I've never said that.
Do you know what's interesting, Booth? You said West Ham as your example. I would say that Kurt Zuma's a better centre half than him, and I'd probably say Agerd is a better centre half than him as well.
Not a good.
Bro, Johnny Evans is better than him.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No,
He
he's
is.
He is.
Okay, so he is
Sandro
overrated.
Martinez, Varane,
He is
Lindelof,
overrated.
and
Johnny Evans
are
just got
all better than him.
relegated. He got relegated 9 months ago.
So what?
He's having a few good games because he's old and everyone's giving him a romantic
better than
narrative.
Maguire.
No, it's rubbish.
He's you know,
Maguire's
if,
a
you know
good
if
centre-back,
Maguire
man.
tried to do what Evans done in terms of bringing the ball,
I don't even
playing
care.
it out,
He's a
Maguire
Man
would break
United
his hip.
centre-back.
I love how you're now going.
No,
It's
but
a great strategy. It's a great strategy. I don't even care. I don't even care about
We're
this.
talking about a centre. He's decent, isn't he?
Bro,
He's
who's,
It's
can
gonna-
we say our second one at the same time, please?
Okay, give us a countdown, Booth.
3, 2, 1.
Van
Van
Dijk.
Dijk. Yeah, you rushed that a bit.
Why
but
is
yeah.
that, lads? Why is that?
It's not that he's not. It's not that you can.
Here's
I
the
think
definition of overrated.
it's very easy to argue that he's the best centre half in the league now. If you want to argue that, right?
I don't think he's the best at Liverpool. I think United is.
I think Van Dijk's the best at Liverpool. I think you could argue that he's the best in the league now, if you want. I don't even necessarily disagree. My issue with it is that people seem to have gone mad. People constantly will say that Van Dijk is better than John Terry. They will constantly say that Van Dijk is better than Nemanja Vidic.
Rio.
They will say that he's better than Rio Ferdinand. They will say
Sol
that
Campbell.
he's better than Sol Campbell. They will say that he's better than Tony Adams.
And Johnny Evans.
They will say that he's better than Steve Bruce. Like, the list goes on and on and on. Maybe not Johnny Evans, but the list of players that I could name that I believe are better centre halves than Van Dijk
Yeah.
is long.
Yeah.
I think he's in the top 10 of all time. in the
Yeah,
Premier League.
I'd
There's an
agree.
argument.
I'd agree, but that's not the point.
The 5
But
it
they
gets
say
tight.
a lot
No,
of
the
people go
one.
top one.
One.
Yeah.
A lot of people go top one.
And then I know Liverpool fans that
A
say
lot of people went, he
Maldini.
should have had a Ballon d'Or.
He's Maldini and all that. Yeah, Cannavaro.
Yeah, people will argue, genuinely argue, that he's better than Terry, Ferdinand, Adams, Campbell, and it's just not. It's like factual.
The closest it
He's
gets
not in my
is
top
the
10.
single
The
season
more
debate.
names we say, he's getting further away from
Yeah,
the top
I
10.
think,
that
I
is
think
true.
he is. I would argue that
Company.
he's top 10. Company would be in the top 10. I
I'd even put
think he's definitely a top 10.
maybe top 10, just outside.
He definitely isn't a top 5. If I were to name the top 5 centre halves in the league, Van Dijk isn't in it. Whereas I think a lot of people will argue that not only is he top 5, but he is top 1, which to me is just ludicrous.
Right then, lads, let's move on. Can we do our midfield? Are we doing midfield
We need
threes,
left back,
fours?
lads.
I've gone Luke Shaw left back. I
Oh,
just
we
don't
haven't
think
done
he's
left
very
back,
good.
sorry.
Yeah, I've gone Ben Chilwell.
I've gone Ben Chilwell as well.
Yeah, all of them are overrated. Fine.
Ben Chordwell.
In terms of, it's a real problem position for most teams and for England.
Midfield threes? Have we done midfield threes?
I've got a Fernandes double.
You're a pathetic.
I've done Fernandes.
Have you got Fernandes double? I
think he's rub- I think
I've got
he's
Fernandes
rubbish.
double though. Have you got a double Fernandes?
No, not the other one.
I've
Not
got
the other one.
I've got
Which one
double.
you got, Enzo?
I've got both.
I've got Bruno.
I've got double Fernandes.
What do you see, Ad? What do you see? What do you see?
No,
a guy that
use
flops
use
around.
Just
A
dig
guy
your
that
own
doesn't.
graves, man.
No,
I'm
you
not
just-
arguing.
You know,
with
we
you.
talk about the
Bruno
great.
Fernandes is a really good player. But
I'm on a Hussar level.
Bruno Fernandes is a really good footballer, but he could be so much better. I don't think he does everything that he... When you think of the ability that he possesses, when you think about what Manchester United need from him, I don't think he delivers.
You know, we talk. You know, we've had
he lets you
debates in
down,
the past.
actually.
We've had heated debates in the past about the Brian Robsons of the world, Bobby
yeah.
Charltons, all these great captains.
But
of
no
Man
one's ever
United.
compared him to Brian.
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying you did
But
that.
he is compared because
he
he's
is
a Man United
he's a
midfielder.
captain. He's in that
Yeah, he's
lineage.
Man United captain.
And he's diving around. He's a pathetic player in how
I
he.
don't think
how
he's a
he-
great captain, but
He's not a
I
great
also-
captain. He
I
doesn't
also
carry
think-
himself.
I also think he's someone that he's got obvious qualities, scores a lot of goals, makes a lot of goals.
Very good player.
But he's also like, you know, like if he was in your team, yeah, and especially like a team like Chelsea right now. I don't know about Man City who are you've got a lot of luxury at the moment. The guy doesn't stop running, bro. He works his socks off every single game. He doesn't miss a game. The only time he's missed one game is through COVID. Like, he don't miss matches. He's always available, and he's always putting his body on the line. And he never, ever sacks it in. You know, he might annoy me with his moaning and whinging sometimes.
What about the diving?
But that's everyone dives.
No,
that
that's not an excuse.
What I'm trying
never
to
seen
say
Cole
is
Palmer dive.
he
That's
never
not an
jacks
excuse.
it in. He never jacks it in.
But what about the diving?
And that's
That's not a-
important,
that's a
man.
factor.
And he is someone that constantly works his socks off for Man United. I understand why you guys feel that way. That's fine. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you
This
about
is
it.
Cambridge United. This is Man United we're talking about, the biggest club in the world. And he doesn't apply himself.
Who else is in there?
My other one is really going to upset a lot of people. I've got Fernandes plus Fernandes.
Enzo.
I've gone...
De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Just say yours so we can go to that.
Kovacic.
Enzo.
Who rates-
You got Bruno,
Terrible.
Enzo, and Kovacic.
Yeah. He should be at Man City. Should be at Man City.
Booth,
Similar logic to my Van Dijk shout. I think Van Dijk is overrated because people compare him to the very best. I think you could easily argue that Kevin De Bruyne is one of the most gifted players in the league now. But don't start talking to me about De Bruyne versus Gerrard, or De Bruyne versus Lampard, or De Bruyne versus
What's
Scholes,
lacking? Just out of
or De
interest.
Bruyne versus Yaya. Or
Just out of interest, because
Fight.
at least let me throw an argument towards
Yeah.
you in terms of Premier League success, which is so important in my view of looking at football. More trophies than the likes of Premier League trophies than Lampard, than Gerrard,
Yep.
than Vieira. So that's one argument.
It's a great argument.
Then on the other side, there's technical ability.
Let's pause there. Okay.
Yeah.
But John O'Shea wins a lot of arguments based on that.
So
Oh,
presumably,
John
if you did your Premier League 11, I assume that Ryan Giggs is left wing.
Yeah, basically.
for you.
Basically. Yeah.
Don't lie to me just because
Well,
you want to
I
make
can't
a
do it on the
point.
spot. I can't do it on the spot.
Don't lie to me. If you were thinking of your Premier League 11,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that in your Premier League 11, Ryan Giggs is not in it. I know for a fact.
Well, who is it?
Done you up there,
I think you'd maybe argue Sadio Mane. I think there's a lot of
Mane's
players
not
that
ahead of
you.
Giggs.
Of course,
I know
I
Giggs
don't
is
believe
good. I know
he
you're
is.
not saying
I don't
that.
believe
Yeah,
he
but
is.
what's
I think
Giggs?
Ryan
I just
Giggs-
can't let that statement
I think
go
he's
without replying.
ridiculous. Look, I'm going off topic here, and Will may have to save me, but I think he's ridiculous that Ryan Giggs was found innocent and is not in the Hall of Fame. Like, he's either innocent and in, or guilty and out. But not innocent and out. It doesn't make sense to me. But Ryan Giggs is an elite footballer, a brilliant football player, an almost incomparable track record, and for some reason belittled today. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Because I think a lot of football fans, and Buvey, I include you in this, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you, but I think a lot of football fans in the new age, and kind of giving our age away here, they see him as a centre midfielder who played deep and was 35 years old.
Or they look at
In
the,
the
they
back
look at,
end
they
of
look
his
at the
career.
numbers.
They
There's
don't
something
remember
going
him
around
spinning up defenders and all that.
There's something going around at the moment, which is Giggs versus Saka. Have you seen it?
We'll get onto that later. Don't worry about that.
No, there's a stat going.
We'll
there's
get
a-
onto that
yeah.
later. We'll get onto that.
Anyway, the reason that I've brought up De Bruyne is because you brought up his trophy haul, and I just wanted to bring up Ryan Giggs' trophy haul to demonstrate that it isn't all about that.
No, but I didn't. And then I've said the trophy haul, which is, okay, not Ryan Giggs, because it's not as good as Ryan Giggs, but it's better than Frank Lampard,
just to
it's better than
clarify-
other players. But then also the technical ability. His numbers are out of this world. The amount of assists he's delivered this season, which I think both of you were critical on, he's been injured this season. I think you both levied arguments that he's not applied himself this season because of the injury, which is a bit harsh. He's come back and instantly been unbelievable in terms of assists.
The reason why
his technical ability, he's got more than the players you've listed.
Absolutely. But what he doesn't have, he doesn't captain Chelsea to a European Cup in Munich against Munich. He doesn't have that fight. He doesn't have that will. He doesn't take Manchester United. He doesn't take Manchester United to the Deli Alpi. He doesn't take Manchester United to the Deli Alpi and take Man United to Barcelona.
As someone who's a football fan, you're a football fan first and foremost. You cannot levy injuries in two Champions League finals.
We just did against Reese James.
Especially when he was fit against Real Madrid and he pulled us back in a game. We were losing at Real Madrid. He pulled us back in a superb goal against Real Madrid at Bernabeu.
I think Rory's point on De Bruyne is very much like the Van Dijk one, though.
It's the Van Dijk.
I don't think he's saying he's not a great player.
Best player in the league, maybe. Best player in the
He's
league,
not saying he's the...
So De Bruyne gets injured in the Champions League.
The reason
right?
I'm
Not
saying,
his fault.
The
And
reason
then
I'm saying he's
he's not-
overrated is because of people comparing him to Yaya Toure, Roy Keane, Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes.
What final did Roy Keane pull Man United through?
He got them to the final. He got them.
So did De Bruyne.
He went to the Deli Alpi.
Roy Keane pulled us through everything.
De Bruyne went to Real Madrid and scored a goal in the Bernabeu. Why is that different?
If you're doing a dream team for one game, Kevin De Bruyne is not in its central midfield.
In
You
your
could argue, would he be in yours?
Roy Keane,
Genuinely.
the
yours.
Roy Keane narrative against Juventus is spot on.
Would he
It's an
be in
amazing
yours?
performance. De Bruyne did the same thing in the same stage of the Champions League,
In
away at the
very
Bernabeu
different
against the
circumstances.
Champions League holders. Were they not the Champions League holders?
In a
Adam?
very different team, as we know that they were
Wind up.
vulnerable. They
No,
were,
they
they were a
weren't.
far more vulnerable team.
I'm not saying
They were
that.
far more
They were the
vulnerable-
holders of the
They were the
Champions League.
holders, but Karim Benzema, for example,
we're
was on
1-0
his
down.
last legs before going to Saudi, who was still leading the line. It was the most one-sided. Second half. Man City deserve a lot of credit for that. It was the most one-sided second half I've ever seen in European football. It was the holders coming to Man City, couldn't get the ball off them. Man City were amazing. When Man United went to the Dele Alpi, Man United went there as underdogs.
No, of course, yeah.
And
we
it was
went 2-0
Roy.
down.
And it was Roy Keane.
We were underdogs at the Bernabeu. I'm not trying to wind you up.
You weren't
We
underdogs.
were.
Let's
You
move
were
on. Let's
season
move on. We
before
could
we
argue
lost.
about this all
Okay.
day. Just to complete. So, can you just give me your complete midfield freeze? Because I haven't done mine yet.
Fernandes plus
De Bruyne.
Fernandes, Kovacic, John McGinn.
And that's Bruno Fernandes for you.
Bruno Fernandes.
You're a disgraceful man.
How's
My
it not
midfield
Enzo?
is Enzo Fernandez, Scott McTominay, and John McGinn.
Okay, and up
Because I
front?
keep being told John McGinn could play for a top 4 team. He
could.
I don't agree with it.
No, he could. I've got Rashford up front.
Yeah, same here.
Pathetic.
Correct as well. I've got Ivan Toney. I've got a weird shape because I had to put Toney in it because everyone's gone nuts.
I think his pick team of the year from last season.
Mate, Ivan Tony's reputation has gone mad. People
He's got Rashford, Haaland, Tony. That's the
100
best
mil shots
front
are
three
crazy.
last season.
Rashford, Haaland, Tony. Haaland, people are talking about in a ridiculous way. Ivan Toney became the solution to everyone's problems. Everyone was going, if Arsenal sign Ivan Toney, they're going to win the league. Chelsea sign Ivan Toney, they're going to make the European Cup. Man United sign Ivan Toney, they're going to make the European. It's like, hang on a minute, this geezer's playing for Brentford for a reason, and he's been fairly
He's
average.
good
since
against
he's
Man
been-
United last night.
Yeah, he's
obviously.
all right.
Who's
Son-
your midfield? Sorry, who's your...
Rashford for me.
Yeah, agreed.
Son and Evan Ferguson.
Son,
Yeah, Son
Yeah?
for me. Yeah, a little bit overrated.
bruv, he's good, you know.
Spurs players talk about him in the Premier League kind of great category. And then Evan Ferguson for me has been a little bit slow this season. I'm not saying he can't be a great
a
striker.
lot of Buveys have been based on form this season rather than...
Son's been brilliant.
Yeah, I still think he's overrated.
My front three, I haven't got a striker because I couldn't think of one. I've got Matoma,
Yeah, okay.
who's like, people were talking about like, oh yeah, he's got a degree in dribbling. All right, sound.
Yeah, he does though.
Saka,
Right?
because
Saka.
bro, I'm sick of it, bro. Oh yeah, we like him. He's such a nice lad. So now he's better than Ryan Giggs. Suck my balls, mate.
he's not
better than Ryan Giggs. Better than this. Better than that. Best player in the world. Best winger in the world. Star boy. Wonder kid. All this stuff. Oh, piss off.
I nearly agreed with you. It is very interesting to do the Ryan Giggs comparison because that seems to be going around at the moment.
Mental.
I don't get that.
People
Yeah,
are comparing him to some of the best players ever. No.
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 I was chatting to Robbie and
he's
he was
no
saying
better than Antonio
he was better than
Valencia,
Phil
man.
Foden.
He's no better than Phil Foden. Phil Foden's got more skill in his little toe than he's got in
Thank you, Adam.
And
Anthony Gordon.
yeah, Gordon is probably overrated. This has been fun. That's our team. Thank you so much for listening to this team.
Saka's the most overrated player in the Premier League.